Yeah, it's important. It's really related. Like all your emotions come from the gut, and everything that you eat is what you are. So imagine we start from there. When you do a detox or you do something that is not known by common doctors or people around you, the fears start coming out, and then you have choices. Like if I do this, I'm going against every beliefs around me. But if I do this and maybe I start having this intuition and I surrender, maybe it can work. But it's just like a thin line. I'm seeing it like that.
We are connected. And it's like what connects us is the life force energy, the vital life force energy, or like prana, or you say in Hawaii, mana. But this is like what is making the trees grow. It's making everything alive. And it's innately wise, because look at nature. Nature's like perfect. And you look at like psilocybin and how it's communicating with the forests and all this like magical stuff that's happening. There's infinite intelligence that's going to help me make my decision instead of me just having to use my brain to make the decision. And like you feel supported and connected. And this is
Your resonance with the frequency.
Yes, your resonance with the frequency. And this is what the human desire is to feel connected. We don't want to be alone. We want to feel connected to something like a movement or a community or our family or our partner. Like we want to feel connected.
Imagine everything that you're putting into your body. It doesn't matter if you don't see the TV. Doesn't matter if you read books. Doesn't matter if you take a good coffee. It matters how you're taking care of your machine. It matters what are you putting every day to your machine. So if you want to change how you feel, change your food.
Welcome to the We Are Healing in Paradise podcast, where we are cultivating the new earth by reconnecting with our true nature and healing the planet from inside each of us. Welcome to the We Are Healing in Paradise podcast. My name is Kate.
My name is Rosario.
And we are here in LaCanopée in the center of Playa del Carmen in the Mexico Caribbean.
Stay with the pirates and the mermaids.
Yes, exactly. Pirates and mermaids. And today we really wanted to talk about the connection between emotions and detox. Mm-hmm. We're doing a lot of deep intestinal detox with our clients, and obviously we're doing it ourselves a lot as well. And we're noticing this common thread that we want to talk about today.
Yeah, it's important. It's really related. Like all your emotions come from the gut. And everything that you eat is what you are. So imagine we start from there. Well, before getting into the topic, I want to ask you if you believe in something. What is your beliefs on this reality? Or how do you see reality? Why is so important for you doing detox? I know it's a lot of questions. I know, but has a point.
Yeah, actually, Rosario and I were talking about this topic off the podcast the other day because she was going through like a deep detox. Yeah, deep detox experience. And someone was telling her, oh, if you're going to have results in your detox, you need to pray. Mm-hmm. And she asked me, hey, do you pray? And so we were talking more about what's underneath the beliefs and the purpose of life. And I was explaining my perspective is that like all religions, all spiritual traditions, everything that is seen as sacred in any culture comes down to surrender. And this is what's powerful about the prayer is because you're literally saying like, I am not like the only God. I'm not God. I don't know everything. And I'm surrendering in a way to a higher power. And I'm saying, whatever you believe in, the universe, Mother Earth, Jesus, like, I know that you have some insight and some wisdom that I don't have access to at this moment. And so I'm going to surrender and allow you to work through me and to, in the case of the detox, to heal maybe, or to know, like have some intuition as to like the next step or how to let go or how to feel safe. And I think for me, it's so powerful on two levels. One is for the more related with the detox is on the physical level. I feel my nervous system feels more calm when I feel like I don't have to figure it all out. There's something out there that's bigger than me, that knows more than I do. And I can just kind of lean back and trust that everything is sort of being taken care of and that I don't have to be in charge of everything. And so on the physical level, I think our body responds to that. And I think that's what she was talking about.
And maybe this also can. We were talking about the parasympathetic and the sympathetic, right?
Exactly.
So putting you in that state like of surrender, you feel it helps to go into that state, or helps to going through the fear. So when you do a detox, or when you do something that is not known by common doctors or people around you, the fears start coming out, and then you have choices. Like, if I do this, I'm going against every beliefs around me. But if I do this, and maybe I start having this intuition and I surrender, maybe it can work. But it's just like a thin line. I'm seeing it like that. For me, it's strong to have a prayer. I didn't believe in anything at the beginning. I was
Atheist?
Atheist, sorry. And I was like, yes, something exists, but I never talked to that. And I am learning that it's not talking to that, it's talking deep inside to yourself in a way, because we're a fractal, we're part of God, we are God, but we're part of everything at the same time. So we're just a piece, right?
Yeah,
Mini piece.
But we are connected. And it's like what connects us is the life force energy, the vital life force energy, or like prana, or you say in Hawaii, mana. But this is like what is making the trees grow. It's making everything alive. And it's innately wise, because look at nature. Nature's like perfect. And you look at like psilocybin and how it's communicating with the forests and all this like magical stuff that's happening. Like, it wasn't just like by chance, like, oh, that just happened.
You know that in every forest, usually a mother tree affects 3 kilometers around. 3 kilometers, can you believe? Wow. But it's because of the mycelium. We have a lot of mycelium around, and then they connect each other. Mm-hmm. So they talk like Avatar.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's really beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in a way, like, the higher power is what connects all of us, and it connects us with nature, it connects us with each other, and it's also like we can tap into, you can see it like, some people explain it almost like a net, or like some sort of network that's like all throughout the planet, and it's like you can just like plug into it, and then it's like, oh, I'm not alone, I'm safe, there's infinite intelligence that's going to help me make my decision, instead of me just having to use my brain to make the decision. And like, you feel supported and connected, and
your resonance with the frequency.
Yes, your resonance with the frequency. And this is what the human desire is to feel connected. We don't want to be alone. We want to feel connected to something, like a movement or a community or our family or our partner. Like, we want to feel connected. Mm-hmm. And so we have access to this at any time.
And in these times, it's really hard to be connected. Well, first of all, because we are a lot into the food, the real food. And I'm seeing, like, when you eat food that is not real, the disconnection is more bigger and bigger and bigger, because even your body start like rejecting the cells or the things that are inside that you're putting into, and you can storage fat, or you can have diseases, or you can have start failing your joints or aging more fast.
Yeah, like an autoimmune disease is the body like having a reaction. And like we interviewed a friend of ours, Tori, and she was saying, like, I don't believe the body naturally wants to attack itself, but it's a reaction to the chemicals or the medications or something that's not found in nature. So your body reacts, and then it's literally fighting itself, and it's crazy to see. But I think of our body as like an antenna, like and it can pick up on the frequency of like the universe or God or something really divine and powerful. But if we're eating a bunch of crap, that like antenna is like all like gunked up. You know what I mean? It's not like a clear channel. It's like it's like trying to find the frequency, but it's like,
it's working so much into the physical realm, so you cannot connect it to other. things, right?
Exactly, because it's like weighed down or it's dealing with all these toxins. And so that's why a lot of times when people do a detox, you can feel almost like high, you can feel so light, you can feel like this euphoric experience because it's like you're clearing out that channel. You're becoming like this antenna for this clear frequency.
When the moment I was doing the most intense part of my detox, the strong one, the third week without not eating and only juicing and doing some herbs, I started having like a crisis, and I was doing a tantrum. I did a tantrum to my husband. Yeah, I did like a tantrum, a big tantrum, and then also to my daughter. She was like, "Okay, mom, you are acting weird," and I didn't know why, but I was feeling like I was so uncomfortable in my body. And it's like, what is happening? But it's like a response, like I need to run, but I don't know where. And I was feeling like, okay, this is crazy. I don't like how I feel. And the next day, I was doing the enema coffees. And don't do it if you don't have like a guidance, okay? It's important to know. But well.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a whole podcast just on enema coffees one day.
Yeah. And then I did my enema coffee, and I purged a huge dead parasite that I was having inside of me for a long time. But remember, I was having an autoimmune disorder. I did a lot of detox. And sometimes some people need to go more further because we can start things that can be like 30 years, 40 years, or your life. And it was really intense for me because I was feeling all the emotions that I was stuck, and I was thinking in this number 97. I remember when I get this, and I get really annoyed, and I was, you know, it's stupid, but maybe it's like when they lied to me that Santa Claus exists. I was so mad. I was living, my house was next to the river, and then it's like, Mom, why you lied to me with Santa Claus? So I just escape and I cross the river and then I go and see sheep. And I was so mad. And then it's like, I'm never going to lie to my kids. I know it's a beautiful story, but it's a lie. And after that, I remember that I changed the way I was seeing life. Because for me, it was really intense to discover that adults lie to their kids for like a story, a candy story, or...
Yeah, I remember crying when I found out that Santa wasn't real either. And I was just like, it's like my whole world was shattered. And I was like, I've been living my whole life as a lie. It was like a super dramatic experience.
But even that, maybe it's stupid, the thing that happened to me, that I discovered that Santa Claus was not real. But I have it in my mind, and I get traumatized, and I get really sad and stressed and angry.
And those emotions were staying inside of your gut.
Exactly. Imagine doing my detox, doing exactly that moment, taking out the big entity, the big worm. I was thinking on that. And then everything my body started relaxing, like, wow, like, because I release a lot of toxins.
Yeah.
But it's intense. Like, doing a detox is a lot of commitment, a lot of discipline, and it's also a lifestyle. And we need to be really aware when we go into this path. It's not only 3 days, at least it's 3 months, and the most beautiful thing is forever if you learn how to eat.
Yeah, if you fall in love with the self-study practice, you fall in love with caring for your body. But like, it's so interesting to me the way that our body holds on to emotions, because talking about the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, when we're in our sympathetic, which is the stress response, so in that moment you were stressed, you were running away from your family, like everyone's lied to me, you were feeling a lot of emotions, your digestive system in that moment like shut down because all the blood was going to your extremities, and at that moment your body was like, you know, digesting food is not the most important thing. The most important thing is dealing with this emotional trauma. And so we will, in those moments where we had this big emotional trauma, regardless of how silly we look at it, like, oh, just Santa Claus. But, you know, in this moment, it was a big emotional trauma.
It was really important for me.
Yeah. And so it's like, in that moment, your digestive system shut down, and you were holding like undigested food and fecal matter in your gut for that whole time. And that's wild. So like when we detox, sometimes things from the really long ago will come up. Really crazy things, because when our digestive system shuts down, it literally shuts down. And then if
Like
we have
stop moving.
Yes.
Like everything is like freeze.
Exactly. And so in that moment, and when it's like locked, then we have this opportunity for some parasite to live, create a home, or for some bacteria to like really build up, and then it just stays in there until we do a detox. So most people that are never doing a detox, or not, like you were saying, it's a commitment, not committing fully, like maybe they'll do 3 days or maybe they'll do 5 days, but they won't stick with it for a few weeks or a few months.
It's more dangerous even doing like a little bit, because you only upset them and their signal is like, oh, they're moving my house, so I need to make more kids. It's a plague. So they need to survive. That's why it's important. It's not like, we don't recommend always like 3-5 days or a week. It's just three weeks at least is the minimum.
Yeah.
If you want to heal your body and change completely everything around you.
Reset your metabolism, reset your gut. And if you want to address those emotional traumas. So if you are like interested in doing deep emotional inner work, if you're interested in surrender and the practice of surrender and letting go and trusting the universe and all of those types of topics, like doing a physical detox is going to bring you there more fast than journaling, than meditating, than all this inner work, because it's a physical experience. And we're living in a physical world, and we're living in these physical bodies.
We're living on food every day.
Yes.
Like we're eating every day. Some people eat 1 time per day. Some people eat 3 times per day. Some people even more.
Yeah.
But imagine everything that you're putting into your body. It doesn't matter if you don't see the TV. Doesn't matter if you read books. Doesn't matter if you take a good coffee. It matters how you're taking care of your machine. It matters what are you putting every day to your machine. So if you want to change how you feel, change your food.
Yeah. And when we're doing a detox, one more thing I want to share really quickly, because it's interesting. I was talking to a woman who's, she's really obsessed with the idea of like letting go of like mucoid plaque, and like she's really like focused on like this goal of like, I need to achieve this, and then it's going to be an example that I did the detox right or whatever. And there's 2 things. One, it's important to not just be eating healthy food, but actually foods that open up detox pathways in the body. And there's certain vegetables and certain fruits and herbs and things that will do that naturally. And there's others that are super healthy food that you could eat normally. But if you're doing a deep intestinal detox, you really need to eat the correct foods that are going to open up, like stimulate digestion. The
that
liver,
doesn't ferment inside of you.
And food combining too. So it's like, she was telling me what she was eating, and I was like, well, that could be, number one, that could be the problem. You're combining a lot of things and you're eating foods that are not detoxifying. For example, bananas are a great example. She was eating bananas every day.
Well, bananas oxidate. Instead, like if you combine blueberries with bananas, the power, the antioxidant of the bananas is going to be lost for the blueberries is going to be lost for the bananas.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like all the power that you can put, then you oxidize everything around. So even also bananas are not good.
Yeah,
are good for arrhythmias and the heart, but you need to know how to eat it, not every day.
Separately.
Mm-hmm.
Eat also your bananas separately from everything else, and don't eat a lot of bananas when you're trying to open up detox pathways in the body. So these are just examples of things that like Rosario and me geek out on, and we've learned over the years. And if you study different types of detoxes, you'll find a lot of commonalities. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, if there's that many people that believe that, it really means like there's some truth to it. And the other thing that really I was thinking about with this topic of emotions is she was so like attached to like this physical outcome of seeing the mucoid plaque come out. And we have clients like this too, and we can relate to getting obsessed with this. But it's like part of that is emotional. Mm-hmm. It's being able to surrender and let go and realize like our body is not a machine. We can't just go and like open it up and change the oil. We have to go through the emotional process of being able to surrender and let go.
Exactly.
Physically and mentally.
Remember in the podcast with Tori, we were talking about the mucoid plaque, that at the beginning of a detox, she doesn't concentrate on it because this is like advanced If you're going to do the mucoid plaque, it's because you already are into the path of commitment, and also like not eating specific foods or doing a lot of juices or having a different diet. Depends on the protocol. Depends on the protocol. But it's important. It's like this is not for beginners to take it the mucoid plaque, because if you don't know how to come up again back to the food, you can mess it up with everything in your system, your hormones, your minerals.
Yeah.
And then you can age, or you can like really feel really bad because you're killing more than you can handle. It's a lot of things at the same time, but depends. Like if you're going to do a mucoid plaque, you need to be really patient, because some people take it in the second week, some people take it in the third month, or some people at the year.
Yeah, exactly. Every body is different. And it is an emotional process, a physical process, and it's so important to have like someone to support you on the journey, because doing it alone can feel scary and feel alienating, you know? And so I really want to encourage everybody who wants to do a detox. You can always reach out to Rosario and I. We have all of our information in the show notes below, in the description box below. And we're here in Playa del Carmen. We're doing in-person customized detox with people. So we get their blood work. We learn about their medical history. We consult an herbalist. We consult a doctor. And we really go deep into like what's going to be the best approach for you. Because everyone is really different. And we support you on the emotional journey as well, because it is physical and emotional. So
It's a journey.
Yeah, it's definitely a
It's
journey.
everything about you.
Yeah, everyone is unique. So it's going to be completely like what Rosario experiences, what Kate experiences is going to be different, you know, and that's perfect, because we're all unique parts of a puzzle that when we come together, we're more strong. And when we're connected, we're more powerful, and we can create more beauty together.
Well, thank you so much for watching our podcast.
Yes, please share this podcast with your friends. Please like and subscribe. If you like what we're sharing, we'd love to hear a comment from you. If you're watching us on YouTube, turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any episodes. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to hear more about, if you have questions about anything that we're sharing here. And we really want this podcast to get spread out so that people realize you can heal naturally with food, juice, herbs, and connecting back with nature.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next podcast. Adios.